Welcome to the Diaries of Anxious Black Mom. I'm your host, Salam Miscano. Every week, I and my occasional guest share personal journeys in work, self-improvement, relationships, all with a lens of personal experiences of being a Black mom. Let's get started. Okay, you guys, hello, this is Salam from Diaries of Anxious Black Mom. Thank you for coming back to listen to another episode of this podcast. Yeah, so today is Monday, September 14th, something like that. I'm recording a little bit earlier this week just because my week is going to be really hectic, so I figured that I come on here, and I already also know what I wanted to talk about. So before I forget, I wanted to get it on here. So yeah, I just want to tell you guys about that movie Cutie. I think you've probably seen it, the preview of it or a poster of it on, if you use Netflix, it probably comes up in the top 10 or whatever. First page, and then if you've been on social media in the last 4 weeks or so, there's been a lot of conversation about it, about the poster, at least, because at that time the movie hadn't actually come out yet, at least not in the US, so most people haven't seen it yet. But yeah, so I saw the poster, and I would say, saying what was happening on Facebook wasn't necessarily a conversation. It was a lot of anger, and then a lot of just kind of cancel Netflix type of conversations, oh, look where we've gotten to. Because for those who don't know what I'm talking about, Cutie is this movie that just came out on Netflix. It's based in France, and it's actually the woman who made it, can't remember her name, but she's African, born in Africa, but then moved to France and grew up there. And this movie is based on her upbringing, or her coming out of age. Is that what it's called? Coming of age story. And so that's what it is. But the controversy was because if you saw the poster shows, it's a very glittery poster, and it has these 4 girls who look, I don't know, anywhere between 10 and 14. I'm not really good at telling age, but they look really young. That's the point. Very, very, very young. And they're in these poses that are very, very sexualized, I guess you could say. Just the way they're, it's one of those, I don't know, I can't even, they reminded me of oh my god, what is that girl group called, the Pussycat Dolls or something like that? Is that what they're called? They're kind of that's the vibe they give you, but obviously it's really shocking because you're looking at, instead of grown women, you're looking at 11 or 10-year-olds or whatever you might think looking at those, right? So I totally understood people's outrage when I saw the poster, because I was like, yeah, that is terrible. I have family members, cousins and stuff that are that young, and I'm like, oh my god, I would be disturbed too, whatever. So I got that part. But then the story, I saw a little preview of it, and I was actually intrigued by it, because it was about a Muslim family. Well, the young girl, the main character, is a Muslim woman, which I am not Muslim, but I grew up around a lot of Muslims when I was growing up in Ethiopia and stuff. So, anywho, but I think just seeing that story is I'm very curious. I'd like to learn more about that, because also it's very much a story about immigrant parents. At least from the preview, that's what it seemed to me, that it's about immigrant parents and how they're trying to kind of keep this young girl, and I think the character is Ami. That's how it's spelled like, it looks like Amy, but it's Ami. Like, I guess it's a French thing. I don't know. But, so, yeah, so I think, it just seemed like the mom was just trying to keep this young girl, like, in her culture, speaking her language, things like that, and the girl was kind of rebelling and doing not those things, kind of going almost the extreme the other way. So that's what I got from the preview, and I was like, oh, okay, like, maybe I'm interested in watching it. So anyway, so then this weekend I had a chance to watch it, and it's funny. Like, I didn't realize that it was supposed to be a comedy until I started watching it, and it's really funny. Like, it's like so ridiculous kind of funny, and it's a really good movie. Like, I can kind of see why it's not for everybody, because I don't know, I think it's like, you can kind of take it for face value, or like your initial like kind of like judgment might be like, oh my god, they're kind of exploiting these girls, or like, how can they allow these girls to be on screen, like, because a lot of it in the movie is they do a lot of very sexualized dances, like I said, like that group, the Pussycat Dolls, I hope I'm saying that right, but if you think of that kind of genre of dancing and music, that's kind of what they were doing, but even maybe worse, like a lot more sexualized. So anyways, but it's just like, okay, I can kind of see why that's wrong, and I believe it's rated mature, even though like pretty much the entire movie, like 90% of the time the scenes are with these young girls, but like the actual storyline and the context is so that it's a mature movie, or mature, rated for mature people, which I agree with. It definitely needs to be mature, because I can imagine that might not it might be confusing to a young person watching that, like the subtle kind of nuance, kind of like what you're supposed to get out of it might be lost on a young person. But an adult, I think someone over the age of 18, even someone in high school, I feel like they might be able to understand kind of the societal commentary that the director is trying to make in this movie, right? So, anywho, yeah, I think it's a really good movie. I can see again what the controversy was initially for someone maybe who hasn't seen the movie, and you're just looking at the poster, which again, I can completely understand why people might have been upset. But I also heard that there was a right-wing, maybe media, or several media and leaders who were pushing this narrative that, oh, look, like Hollywood is trying to exploit our children, yada yada, which Hollywood is, but this is not, I don't think this is the example for that. This is not the evidence for that statement or thesis, I would say, because Hollywood is always exploiting, especially young girls of color. That is the truth. Like, social media does that, everything does that, and that's sad. But I think this movie is actually kind of making a commentary of it, because you'll see a lot of the characters who, by the way, are like with Ami. There's a couple of other girls who are in this dance group with her, / like friends with her, and they are, they're all of them are the similar age, and almost all of them, I think, are like, one is black, two of them are black, one, Ami, and then the other girl, another black girl, and then there is a girl that looks maybe like Spanish speaking person, Latino maybe, I'm not sure. So like, they all are like women, like girls of color, and so I think that, and they seem like they're low income because they live in housing projects. You see that they live in housing projects. So anywho, I think that it's a really interesting movie that also makes you laugh at the same time, which is, I feel like, kind of hard to do in that kind of movie. And anywho, but I heard that these right-wing media outlets or whatever were trying to push this narrative, probably before even seeing this movie, that it's like, oh, save our hashtag, like, save our children. There's this pedophile ring out somewhere in the world. You guys heard about that group, the conspiracy theory group. I forgot what they're called, Anywho, so, they push this narrative about how it's grooming girls or something, or anywho, I think that, like, people should get a chance to watch it. Again, I wouldn't watch it with a young person because, again, this is rated mature. But I would watch it and have an open mind, and you might not like it, or you might not even get the point, or why is this person doing this. But the fact that this is created by a black woman, Senegalese and French woman who lives in France, who's immigrated with her family, and she used her own story to write this, I think is really great. And I read that she used to be a biologist and then she became a director, which I think is really interesting. And I saw that there was someone posted an interview with her. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm very excited to see that. And so I would definitely give it a try if you all haven't seen it. It's on Netflix. And honestly, I have not sat down and watched a movie in so long. Like, I watch a lot of YouTube, and I don't really sit and watch, like, movies or shows. I don't have that much time, and then two, I don't know, somehow our household, we don't do that much. We don't really watch. We don't sit and watch movies and TV shows. We watch a lot of little YouTube clips, whether it's for entertainment or other, like, educational stuff. So, that being said, I would encourage you to check out the movie Cuties, and let me know what you think of it, because I'm very curious, how especially moms, how you all take it, because I have a daughter. I mean, she's very, very young, but and honestly, I felt like the movie, I related so much to that. Not that when I was younger, I did those type of dances or whatever, or acted the way that the characters did, but there's a lot of truth to the way that if you grow up, especially in a very religious and very, like, strict family, then kind of the ways that you try to act out can actually be really dangerous. Instead of, I think my takeaway from the movie was, like, it's very important to talk to girls about sex, about their bodies, about their well-being, their self-expression, and just give them time to mature, not just physically and sexually, but, like, intellectually and all of those things, and they were just looking for an outlet for self-expression, independence. That's what I saw in that movie. And I love the ending, like the scene in the end where she's, like, jump roping. I thought it was so beautiful. It's such a beautiful, like, little, like, image or scene of, like, a moment of childhood for her that I also related a lot to. So anywho, I hope that you all check it out. Let me know what you think. I think you guys found my Instagram page, but it's called Anxious Black Mom, just the name of this podcast. I also have an email address if you all want to email me, anxiousblackmom@gmail.com. I also have a YouTube page called Anxious Black Mom Podcast. So I guess nobody thought of the Anxious Black Mom name for domains or anything, so I gotta go. So I was able to get those. So it's easy to find me all across. Anyway, so I hope that you let me know what you think of the whole Cutie movie, because I think it's pretty great. Alright, I hope you guys do really well this week. The smoke is disgusting and it's still here, and I hope that it goes away soon for us, and also for the people who've been really, really directly impacted by the fire. So okay, all right, have a good day, y'all. Bye.